Hi, this is Vlad and this is my final video on the starter, and all I have to say is we have a starter. We started about 5 days ago by mixing whole wheat flour and a little bit of pineapple juice. Last night we dropped pineapple juice and started to use water, and if you remember, I made the mark on my little container to see whether or not it's gonna double inside, and actually it did double. It collapsed back a little bit, but it was actually more than doubled in volume. So at this time I'm just gonna mix and collapse the starter again, and from now on I prefer not to use the whole wheat flour to feed the starter, but I move on to regular I'm just gonna scrape just to see that it's you know, right by that line where we were started. So to move on, I'm gonna from now on to feed my starter with just regular white all-purpose flour, and I have probably plenty of starter to make a loaf of bread here, but I want to have a little bit extra so I can save for the next time. So what I do, I just put half a cup of all-purpose white flour and about quarter cup of water, and I mix it well, this mixture together. It kind of becomes a little thicker than we started with. I like to keep my starter a little bit on the thick side rather than thin, and it actually becomes, if you can see, my starter is kind of almost doughy. If you can see in the camera, it's not a pancake batter consistency anymore, and it's becoming a little bit. I like this. This way. Some people keep it more liquid. Some people are perfectionist and they like to keep starter on so-called 100% hydration, which actually means feeding starter by equal amount of flour and water, measuring it by weight rather than by volume, and so forth. I'm just, you know, trying to keep the consistency I like, and it's working well for me. So I'm gonna feed the starter, and my next video I will take time to explain what to do with the starter, because unless you bake in bread every day, you probably want to store the starter in the refrigerator. So I'm going to explain to you how to do it, and maybe the following video we will make a loaf of sourdough bread. But at this point, once you mixed, feed it with whatever flour you like, you can safely put the starter in the refrigerator. And from now, if you keep it in the refrigerator, you should be feeding it once a week. Usually what I do, I take portion of it to bake my bread, and I replace what I took with with water and flour. So it keeps. I don't like to discard my starter just the way I am. But if you don't bake as often as I do, keep it in the refrigerator, and once a week discard half of it and replenish that discarded half with equal amount of flour and water, and your starter should live actually forever. So I hope you enjoyed these videos, and come back soon when we will go on to baking the bread itself.